Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How you doing? Well, here is all the jig boxes. I took all the jig boxes down and any other ones that I had over there, and any ones I had out on the boat. As far as I know, I think I've got them all. So if you guys are a fan of jigs and jig fishing, you will probably love this video. So it's going to take a while. Get yourself a drink, get yourself some popcorn, or whatever else you want to snack on, because this one might take a while, because you can see all these boxes here. I'm going to show you guys. So I guess I will start. I guess I'll go left to right. I'm going to use these two boxes here, these high ones here, to lay everything on so I can show it to you better. And here we go. So I'm going to focus in on here a little bit. So let's see. Look at these two guys here. Move them over here. All right. Football head jigs and some monster grass jigs. As you can see, here is just a ton of different brands of football jigs. Probably all-terrain tackle or some of these. I cannot remember all these brands. And a lot of times I will take my jigs and put them in these plastic bags and put them in a box so they don't get rusty, especially if I'm leaving them in the boat a lot. Now this particular box of football head jigs, these are my old lead ones, so I haven't really thrown these up here in New Hampshire, so I haven't been in the boat. But this is just a bunch of different old brands of football head jigs. These ones actually came with rattles. Different colors. I can't even remember all these brands. Some of these might actually be living rubber skirts. Some of these here. I'm not sure who made these. But those look like living rubber skirts and not silicone. But this is an old box of lead football head jigs. Different brands right here. So this box alone could probably last me the rest of my life. But I have moved on to different football head jigs as my fishing has progressed here. Actually, let me do this here. Give ourselves a little more room. Might work better. All right, one down. 50 to go. All right, now these football head jigs might be a little more in the vein of the ones I'm using nowadays. These are not tungsten, these are lead. So when I'm in a lead state, these are some of the ones I use. These are some, do my best to remember who made who here. I believe these are some of the Power Team ones. I believe these, let me see if I can recall. I think these are Power Team Lures ones. Let me see. You can see even some of these, they got a little rust on the hooks. Let's see. There's probably a Power Team because I have a Power Team trailer. That's one of those maulers on there. Nice combo right there, that black and blue. But these are more lead football heads. The newest ones here are the jewel tackle ones, which are probably, you know, before I started throwing the open water sniper so much and some other tungsten versions, as far as lead goes. These Fish the Moment ones, these, from Jewel Tackle, these ones I really have done well on. These are newer than those other ones. I guess I just kind of thrown them more. But this is a nice football head jig. So if you're not in a state where you have to throw tungsten or something other than lead, those are good. I believe these are VMCs. Those are VMC football head jigs. Let's see. Some of these are rubber skirts. When that water's real cold, that rubber skirt tends to work a little better. But that's definitely a rubber skirted one right there. I'm just trying to look at the heads and remember who these are. But these are just various companies that I've bought football head jigs from over the years. Those are definitely VMCs. Those are Fish the Moment ones from Jewel. And these are that's some Power Teams. The other ones I can't guarantee I'm giving you the right name. But I think these are Power Teams on this side. But another big box of football head jigs to last a lifetime right there. Let's see what we got here. I want to try to do the football head jig first. You know what? So let me go over and I'll do these. I'll kind of stick with the football head jigs. Now this is my newest box of, you know, probably one of the most famous, I don't say famous, but popular football head jigs, especially where I live now, is the Beast Coast open water sniper jig, Baby Dozier, and I just have them all in one box here. I had a small box and knew they weren't going to fit, so I knew it was time. Here's some hybrids. And if you guys check my most recent video on my Beast Coast order, that's all stuff has all been put in the box here now. So that's my open water sniper box. So if I go out and throw these and lose one, I'll order 10 to replace them, like we all do. But it's a great. I don't want to say finesse, because I don't really consider this a finesse jig. It's just that it's so compact. I think that's what makes it so popular with the fish, and it works so well for us bass fishermen. It's just that it's nice. It's such a compact jig that it really matches the crayfish, and just it looks more than a big bulky. Not that the bigger, bulkier ones, you know, aren't good baits. They are, but you know, I think the fact that it's it's a little more finessey, and this is that Baby Dozier, which is a little more of your traditional, because it's got the 4-aught hook, it's got the weed guard. So if you're looking for that bigger football head jig from Beast Coast, that Baby Dozier is a great option. But the open water sniper is very popular. The Baby Dozier is a great option. So if you're looking for some tungsten football head jigs, check out Beast Coast, because they've got a great selection, great colors, and you guys have seen all, you know, you guys are just catching them on them everywhere. And I believe, unless I uncover some more football heads, I believe that's it for the football head jigs. I can't really think of the best way to do this. These are all flipping jigs right here in front of me. These are all football head, or just regular jigs. Maybe I'll go over here and just take care of some of these smaller boxes first, and just some of these random ones before I get into all the regular flipping jigs. And I could use this as my kind of table here. Let's see. Hopefully I have these marked well. These are Power Team Lures, their jig, which I like a lot. Now, these are lead. These aren't tungsten. But they make a nice, compact jig that, you know, when they first came out, I did very well with them. And I added rattles. And I like the skirts. And you can see I've got it matched with their crawl hors d'oeuvre. It's a nice jig. I'd have to look on the Power Team website to see if they still make this jig. I would imagine they still do, because it's a good jig. So if you're not in a tungsten state where you have to use, you know, or you just don't use tungsten, or it doesn't matter if you use lead or not, check out the Power Team Lures. It's a nice one. And the different colors, good hook. I mean, has that got a trailer on it? Yeah. That's a nice setup. Oh, it does have a trailer. Oh, I know what that is. I think I must have added this little trailer skirt thing in here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these little, you can add these to your skirts. I think I got them on Lure Parts Online. I forget what they call it. It's like adding a little craw type trailer, you know, if you're not going to put your regular trailer on. But they have some cool skirts. I always like that watermelon candy one the best, but they're all good. This one looks like it's got this might be, I don't know if that's another watermelon candy or just, yeah. As you can tell, that's kind of the ones I was throwing last time I had these on the boat. But that's Power Team Lures version. Good jig. There is no jig here that I don't like. I guess I should say I've never met a jig I don't like. These are just some of these boxes are going to be just random jigs from random companies. I may not remember all of them. I think this is Phoenix Bait Company, because I know they make a lot of jigs with the rubber skirts. And it might be a combination. Some of these might be a combination of the rubber skirt with the silicone. But the Phoenix is a nice jig, nice colors. I just like these brown and orange ones. But you can see that's a nice full skirt. And I believe that's a living rubber skirt, if I remember correctly. So these are really good. It might be a combo of rubber and silicone, which is what it looks like to me. There's a few strands of silicone in there to go with the rubber jig. But the Phoenix Bait Company does make nice jigs if you're looking for that rubber. That's pretty wild. I don't know what they call that color, but it's cool as hell. But another nice jig, and it's like I said, if you don't want those rubber skirts, which some guys are still, still like to throw, especially in that cold, cold water. Phoenix is a nice one. I'll save that one for a little while. Here's some V&M jigs. These might be some cliff paste jigs. These might be, actually. Yeah, they're regular flipping jigs. Just another flipping jig. There's those different rattle strands that are like the long ones. I was never a big fan of these. I always found these tore off on me. The hook right in my finger. But these are like I think these are, I don't know if it's a pretty big head. I don't know if it's a half or 3/8, or 3/4. Pretty big jig head in there. But yeah, these are all V&Ms. I think I used to be on their pro staff. And then all of a sudden I went on there one day and I wasn't. The site had changed and there were no more options for that, so it just kind of went away. These are just different finesse jigs here. Let me see if I can remember who all these are. I think I might have them in the... This is a company called Bass Patrol. And they make these really nice little compact, almost similar to the... And this is just some random companies, but that's not a Bass Patrol. That's a Bass Patrol. They make a really nice... It's almost kind of like that open water sniper style. It's small, compact. Now it does have a weed guard, so it's not an open hook like the sniper. Like here's one that the last time I threw these. This is the one I had, this black and blue, and with just a baby rage craw on there. But there you go, nice. Actually, I don't think that's a Bass Patrol. That's a more round head. This is just a mixture, I think, of Bass Patrol, other finesse jigs I've, got over the years, at outdoor shows and stuff. Yeah, these are definitely different brands of finesse jigs. But these are, when you want that smaller jig, any ones these that say mustad, these are the Bass Patrols. Let's see if I can get those out of there. There used to be an outdoor store near where I worked back in the day in Jersey that had these, and I'd grab them every now and then when I went in, and I know Tackle Warehouse has them. But it's a nice, compact, finesse jig with the rubber on there, so when that water's really cold, this small jig can be the way to go. So now these are lead, as I said, so they're not tungsten. So I haven't really used them up here, since I'm using tungsten now, so finesse jigs, Bass Patrol, and other various kinds. There's some Bass Junkie jigs. My buddy in Jersey makes these. Some cool jigs that he made for me back in the day. Nice, stand-up. Nice swim jigs. Oops. You can tell the colors I like to how to make. It's regular Arky style. A little bit of everything. So these are Bass Junkie jigs. Really cool stuff. Some nice finesse. It's almost like a Ned type bait, but very cool, very cool. You can never have enough jigs, guys. Just remember that. All right, let's see what we got over here. This is looks like just not necessarily jigs, but it's some punch skirts. You guys who like punching, just some punch skirts, paycheck baits. I forget who made all these, but different punch skirts. You guys that are flipping and pitching, you want to add a punch skirt to your Texas rig. Just throw one of these on there below your weight. There you go. This one actually has a little trailer type thing on it. So I don't remember who made a Paycheck. I know made a lot of these. I can't remember who made all of them though. I haven't really used that type of setup in a long time. Now that I think about it, might be something worth trying again, because I haven't used any punch skirts in a while. But that's just a box of punch skirts I have with the jigs. I'll show you that quick. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There's some slipping jigs for you guys who want to, throw that. You're punching, you want that skirt with that weight. You want to kind of soup up your Texas rig. You guys have probably thrown these before. It's really just the weight, which I'm assuming that's a 3/4. and a skirt. You just run your line through there, your Texas rig through there. Oops. Run your Texas rig through there, your hook, and now you've got a nice weight and a skirt for your creature bait or your worm or whatever it is you're flipping and pitching. And you know, it's really a way to, you know, make it more enticing. You know, give it that skirt, that jig look, that skirt on there. And I'll just show you. These are from Cyclone Baits, which is V&M. This Cyclone Baits slip and jig. I'm assuming they still make these. If not, there's some companies that do. I know Strike King makes. Everybody. You know, that was when V&M, I guess, was Bayou Outdoors was the website where I used to get my baits from them at a nice discount. And then all of a sudden, that, as I said, that kind of went away. So I had bought these back in the day when I was a member of that staff. And just some different colors here. Those one I always liked. Oh, what we got? You can tell he's I always like that black neon, that black and red. It's always a good one. So if you got some real good heavy milfoil that you're flipping, and you want to really get it down there and punch the heavy stuff and give them the look, that jig look with your soft plastic, something like that goes really, you know, white's good, what really dirty, different colors there. So it's a Cyclone Baits punch and jig. I'll show you that guy's fast. All right, let's see what we got here. Now this is definitely an old school box. Wacky Worm used to make these jigs, and this is when, I mean, back in the day, I say that a lot, this jig that Wacky Worm made up in PA was killer. You know, my buddies and I, we go up there and order, you know, anywhere from 25 to 50 a season. You know, the black and blue, and this was like, and I would, and you could just pick your skirt colors, and I was always get dark blue, light blue with the rattle, and with the tinsel, a little bit of tinsel in there. And these were killer. I'm sure they probably still are. I just haven't thrown them in a while. 3/8 halves. I'd get the black and the chartreuse, the black and blue, brown and purple. I'd get whites every year, brown and orange, which I loved. I actually, you know, from somebody who threw the blue all the time, I really went over to the black, the brown and orange as time went by. Black with the green, with just the tinsel. These old wacky jigs. Unfortunately, the person who started, that made them for them, I don't know if they retired, if they passed away. I don't remember the details back in the day, but, you know, this is late 90s, early 2000s stuff here. But a great jig. I know they still have jigs at Wacky Worm, but that style, I don't think they haven't done in many years, and those are classics. Caught a lot of fish on those over the years. That was a great jig. These are some random boxes. I'll just show them to you quick here. Just some hair jigs. I probably couldn't fit them in the other box, and just kind of threw them in this box when I was doing some organization. But just some different color hair jigs there. Probably got those at the old tackle shop up in Sagandaga that I used to go to before he retired from the business. More hair jigs, different kinds, different brands, but lots and lots of hair jigs. Hair jigs are great. They catch a lot of fish. Let's see if I can remember some of these companies. This is the Punisher hair jig, which some of you guys may have used. These are newer, so you can still get these. It's a 3/8 ounce, which is a little big for a hair jig. I usually use a quarter, but the Punisher jig is a nice one for you guys who like throwing hair jigs. I can't remember who made all these. Let's see. Some of these companies may not even exist anymore. Let's see who made this one. Off the Beaten Path Bait and Tackle. Cross Hill Road, Richmondville, New York. Does that still exist? I don't know. $1. Gosh. You know it's old. But I think I probably bought these up in the tackle shop by my mom up in Sagandaga, because he always had nice hair jigs, and I would always grab some when I went up there. You know, I love hair jigs, so whenever I would go into a tackle shop, see some cool ones, some cool colors. I mean, they're all just, that brown and orange is great. Just bags and bags of different types, different kinds, different brands. And that perch one is killer. They're all good. They all work. You know, if you guys who throw jigs and throw hair jigs, I'm sure you have boxes similar to this with just tons and tons of them. Because, you know, you throw them around the rocks, they don't have weed guards or anything, you wind up losing them. So they do. Yep. Here's a, I don't know where this came from. This looks like something I might have bought at a giveaway. We did giveaways or swap meets or something. This is probably something I got back when I was in Bergen, and we had a swap meet, and somebody probably had an old thing of hair jigs, and I probably grabbed it. So that's what that is, old hair jigs right there. Here is the best hair jigs you can get, in my opinion. I've done videos on these. You can check back. Bill Alexander's MTOs, made-to-order lures. The Sand Flea. This hair jig is the greatest. It's my favorite. I love it. And I'll probably order some more. Once I do inventory this winter and see what I got, what I don't got, what I lost. That's what I do have. Here's some brands that I found online. These river bugs. Looks like this is just a bag of everything. There's some MTOs in there, but these river bugs. It's a great hair jig guys made for me back in the day. You know, just all different types, different brands, different types of hair. But when that water is cold in the spring or the fall, and you're looking for, you know, just the old marabou hair jig, 1/4 ounce, you really can't go wrong with that, guys. You really can't go wrong. I'm just trying to show you some of these that actually have Down Home Lures. He makes some really nice hair jigs. I think I ordered these online. Ones that still have original packaging, that is, that you can see. But, you know, they're all good. Find the hair jig that you have faith in and throw it, and you'll do well. I mean, these are just, I think these are more from the River Bug Company, if I remember right. I mean, they're just great. Such well-made baits. And, like I said, the MTO is my favorite. I throw that the most. But, great. Gotta love a hair jig. All right, now the rest here, these are all leads. Now let me show you the one that's not lead. This is my tungsten jig box in one of the Plano boxes that I put. So these are my tungsten jigs. Some of these I've made using the Bass Tech tungsten jig head. Some of these are Beast Coasts, like here, I believe. But I've got them all in here, and I don't want to take all of them out because then I got to put it all back together. I believe these are your Beast Coasts. So anything that I have that is a tungsten jig is in this box, which means I need 4 more because the box is not full, and the box must be full at all times. But I probably just have them out on the boat, or they're up on the boat, or maybe. But that's just tungsten jigs there. You can see the colors I like. There's some queen tackle. That looks like theirs there. Probably some Eco Pro. They're tungsten. As I said, the Bass Tech jig that I bought from Tackle Warehouse or wherever else I bought, could find it. When they're in stock, I buy a few of those and put the skirt of my choice on there. And that's it. So the box fills up. Eventually, it'll probably be as big as these other ones because I'll be living here longer and throwing more tungsten, which is what I throw pretty much all the time now. But these boxes I'm going to show you are all jigs that I've made over the years. Now, I didn't pour the lead. I didn't make the skirts. I bought the skirts. I bought the lead heads. Most of these are from Lure Parts Online. All the components, I just made the jigs. I would buy the white jigs from them. I'd buy the skirts. And I'd buy the rattles. And just make jigs. And as you can see, this is mostly white jigs, white and chartreuse, some sexy shad ones there, some different ones. And these are all different jigs that I made over the years, because I got these when Falcon had these boxes, these jig boxes that I loved. I just filled them up. I wish not, now that that one there is, you know, the same type where you can keep your jigs organized. I'll probably buy more and eventually get these in there, because I don't, you know, when I'm fishing in a state where I don't have to use just tungsten, I can use some of my lead heads if I got a skirt color I like. Or these are mostly black and red, 1/2 ounce, 3/8, black and blue. Just different jigs for different types of water. Some places they like that black jig. Sometimes a little red in there is a good way to go. Let's see what's in this one. See some black and chartreuse. All right, there's some green pumpkins, green and browns, different colors there. Real natural colors that I like to throw now. I throw a lot more. But you know, your traditional, you can tell that one's been thrown. You know, your typical black, or 3/8 or 1/2 ounce jigs in, you know, natural greens, green pumpkins, watermelons, some oranges in there, some chartreuses, a little bit of everything. All right, let's see what we got here. These look like the blue box, and those, yep, black and blues. Different type of a blue there, but all cool. It says one of those trailer things like there. I tried out one there, but then the thing is like, to me, this, I get the idea, but it doesn't take the place of a real trailer. So when you put a real trailer on, then you've got so I guess if you want it to look like 2 crayfish swimming around, I guess you could do it that way. But I always thought it was I figured I'd put it on a few, but I never really thought it was that great of an idea. But these are all just jigs, you know, 1/2 and 3/8 in the blues. You could tell I tried to kind of keep everything kind of, you know, color coordinated. Some more of the greens, green pumpkins, some black and chartreuses over on this side. Just some more. Look, there's some purple mixed in that one. So just more of the same. 1/2 ounce, 3/8 jigs I made. All right, let's see what we got here. I think I see some purple in there. So if you like purple jigs, looks like black and blue and purple. Some brown and purple. Great color in the spring. Browns. I love brown jigs. Different types of browns. Peanut butter and jelly type skirts. So if I ever need rattles, I certainly don't have to buy more. I could just go into these jigs that I'm not throwing as much anymore, just to harvest them from there. Let's see what's in this box. Here's your browns, brown and oranges. Great colors, all of them. Some different styles, different style heads, or not so much styles, but colors, I guess I should say. But there you go. So how many jigs these each hold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. So 36 jigs per box. So you guys can do the math. How many are in those boxes? Not that they're all 100% full, but they mostly are. All right. Put it up here. This, I think, are just some, this says 3/8 ounce, so maybe just some 3/8 that I couldn't fit in those other boxes. I just wanted to kind of, you know, maybe they were laying around. I just wanted to get them in a box. Some of these may be store-bought ones, but I think they look like all different ones I've made over the years. So I think that's just a random bunch of jigs that I haven't been using that I kind of threw over. I was probably more throwing the 1/2 ounce, so I made a 3/8 box. These are all, you know, these are my favorite jig colors. These are lead. These are my favorite jig colors that I put in one of the good Plano jig boxes. All flipping and pitching jigs that I've made over the years. 1/2 ounce, 3/8, all my favorite colors, all in one box. And that's a bunch of jigs right there. And these boxes are great. You can fit a ton of jigs in there. You fill one of these up, and you are probably good for the day. Probably good for the season. And these boxers are great. So I have 2 boxes like that filled up. Try to keep the colors somewhat together. My whites, even pinks for real dirty water. Browns, black and blues, more browns, more bait fish type colors, the black and purples, black, just straight black, more greens and browns over here. So try to keep everything somewhat organized as far as colors go. So I know what I need when I'm fishing, different types of watercolors and things like that. Those are lead that I've made. This is, let's see, just a box of random clipping jigs. I think these are all ones that I have made. Put them up over here. Get a better look at them if I get them a little closer. Most of these skirts look like, actually, you know what these are? These are all 3/4 ounce, because that head, that's a 3/4 ounce head from Lure Parts Online. So that's a 3/4 ounce head. These must be all, I must have made a box just of 3/4 ounces. So, and I always put rattles on. I like rattles on a jig. So I bought these heads. These are just Arky style heads, 3/4 ounce. Got them from Lure Parts Online. Bought the skirts, bought the rattles, and made them. So whenever I want a 3/8 ounce skirt, or a 3/8 ounce jig, I know, or 3/4, I keep calling it 3/8, 3/4. Actually, that feels like a half right there. Looks like a half. But if I want a big jig, a 3/4 ounce, I know what the box is right here. 3/4 ounce jigs right there. Let's see what we got here. I think this is just going to be random jigs that I didn't make. Maybe some that I did. I think these are all jigs that I've bought from certain companies. Dirty Jigs, Hack Attack Jigs, Strike King. The occasional jig that I made, because I can tell from that skirt and from that head and all the scratches on there. Different swim jigs. So these are your store-bought, $5-6 a piece. This would be, I believe, a Dirty Jigs. Now, they're all great. If you guys have a jig company that you really like, I like to make my own jigs when I can. So if I can find tungsten jig heads, I will, put the skirt patterns, colors that I like. But I do buy the Queen Tackle tungsten jigs, the Eco Pros if I see a skirt color I like, just to add to my tungsten jig, group. But these are all the store-bought brands. There's a couple in there that look like ones that I may have made, but most of these, just looking at them, I believe are Strike Kings and Dirty Jigs, and maybe like a Venom, or I can't remember all the different companies, but that's mostly what they are. These last 2 boxes, these are old school. I think the tower of jigs is falling over here. No, that's because I got all these little guys here. Let's do it this way. Put them over on this side. I can see it better. Take one off. All right. Now these are definitely old school jigs you don't see around. You guys might have them if you guys lived in Jersey. But these jigs here, I don't think they have necessarily the name on them. But these are Pro USA jigs. I think they all are. This was a jig back in the day that I used to buy, that before I was making my own, that was my favorite jig, pretty much. B&L Baits in Jersey made them. Pro USA, same. They had all these great skirts. This one right here was just my favorite. Man, $2 a jig, good price. Which prices are like that still nowadays. But for you guys who remember the old B&L Baits, Pro USA, these jigs were great. I love them. I love the skirts. This brown and orange on Highland Lakes caught me a lot of big fish over the years. This one right here caught me a lot of fish over the years. I wish I had the full packaging so I could show you it, but get a kick out of that. But trust me, Pro USA jigs, I know you guys that are old school like me in Jersey probably have some of these laying around somewhere. It's a great jig. It still is. I just haven't thrown them. And, you know, there are lead jigs, so I don't really throw them up here in New Hampshire. But, you know, if I was going to, you know, take a couple of these and throw them in the boat, if I was fishing somewhere where it didn't matter if I was using lead, these would be a great way, you know, great way to reminisce, so to speak. You know, throwing an old jig that, you know, caught me a lot of fish over the years. A lot of fish over the years. This box, I believe, is, talk about old school, more of the old wacky jigs. And this was when they started using this hook, the jig wasn't as good. It used to hang up like crazy. The hook was too big for the weed guard. And I remember the year we got them, we tried them and we just went back and said, oh, we need that old hook. This hook right here was much better. That big, whatever they called it. Let's see how many of these are good hooks or bad hooks. That's a good hook. But that blue, light blue, that with that flash in there, that rubber skirt, man, those are killer. So a lot of old wacky jigs in this box. I don't know who made some of these. I'm not going to remember. I won't remember in 100 years. That was something Tech Jigs, T-E-K. I think I got these from Northern Bass Supply back in the day. It was a pretty nice jig. And then I think these ones up on top, let me see if I can. I think these ones here are Stanley jigs. I think these are just old Stanley jigs. This is one of the first jigs I bought. I think they're like a buck, 99 cents. Buy these 3/16 ounce one, that black with that chartreuse. That was killer on the reservoirs. Can of steer in places. Throw these back in the day. Now all these skirt straps are probably all no good, and you'd throw it once and the skirt would fall off. But these old Stanley jigs, they were great. They were great back in the reservoirs, you know, back in the day. Like I always like to say that, back in the day when I first started fishing, and you know, you buy a jig and it didn't cost you $6. But yeah, I would say these old skirt straps here are probably all dried out, would probably fall apart. I'm sure the wacky ones are still fine, but some of these Stanley. So that is some old baits right there. Some Stanley jigs. I don't remember who made these. Some of these I'm not sure. Like might be like, I don't remember who made those. But just a box of a crap load of jigs. So I mean, if I really wanted to throw these and didn't want to ruin the skirt, I'd probably take some braid and tie it around there, because you know that plastic is going to break after a couple casts and the skirt's going to fall off. So if you really wanted to save that skirt's life, tie some braid around it. So, you know, if you get a jig like that and it's an old jig and you still want to throw it, the hook is still good. I mean, the hook is still fine. Just take your braid and tie it around there, and that'll keep that from falling off on you. Because if you try to put a new strap on, it's a pain in the butt. It never comes out right, at least for me. But in less than 40 minutes, now by the time this is all done, it might be over, I got them all done. I'm shocked. I didn't think it would happen. I think it was going to take an hour. But I tried to move it along and not be too boring. But if you guys like jigs and you remember some of these old jigs, you probably got a kick out of it. But that's it, guys. That's all the boxes of jigs. That's all I got. Can you believe it? That's it. I think I need more. But, you know, some great looking hair jigs there. My old, you know, the old boxes here are the jigs I made. The old jigs I first started getting into bass fishing that I bought. The Pro USAs, the Stanley jigs, the wacky jigs, and, you know, the various hair jigs there. And then just some of the ones I've made for myself over the years. And if you haven't done it, making jigs yourself, and I mean, if you like to pour jig heads, that's fine too. I'm not pouring, you know, pouring lead here, and well, I'm certainly not pouring tungsten here in the basement. So, you know, you can buy, you know, tungsten jigs if you're, you know, in a no lead state like I am, or you can, you know, like I get those, as I said, I get those Bass Tech ones, on Tackle Warehouse. You just put the skirts on, put the rattles on, they're ready to go. And the queen tackle ones are really nice too. Whenever there's a sale, especially, I like to grab a few of the queen tackle ones in the colors I like, because that jig has done very well for me. And they're all like that typical arky head, which I like. So most of these jigs are an arky style head, which is my favorite. And I can even, you know, swim a jig with the arky head. So that's it. Any questions on any of these jigs? If you guys look through the archives of my older videos, I know there's a lot of jig stuff on there. I think I've done a video on, you know, making jigs. And if you'd like to see a new one, I can do it, an updated version with maybe some of the tungsten jig heads I have now. But I'd be more than happy to do that, because you know, I could talk jigs for hours. But any questions on any of these particular brands, let me know. And that's it. So I guys hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too long, too boring for you. But that's the jig collection. Unless I left a couple boxes up in the garage, which I don't think I did. I think I pulled everything down. But that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Mark out.